Friday, a Financial Friday. I wanted to jump in here and go live. Hopefully, we're doing some work on the house, and hopefully the contractors don't start jackhammering and everything in the middle of the live. But I want to jump in here because you know what? Tomorrow is a special day. Tomorrow's Financial Awareness Friday, and Financial Awareness Day. So I wanted to jump in here in the sense of talking about how to become financially aware, what are the things that come into play, and that type of thing. Since that's not working, I'm going to turn that off. So, and what we can do to make that happen. So if you're jumping in, do me a favor, say hello, let me know you're there, and where you're coming from. If you're on Facebook or one of those, I am running through Restream, so make sure you give them permission. Otherwise, I can't see your name. And I don't want to call you a Facebook user. I want to have a conversation with you, and in doing that. So here's the thing. So I get these notifications of different things, and one of the things that came up is the fact that tomorrow happens to be the National Financial Awareness Day. Well, what does that mean? Why does it matter? Well, here's why it matters. And if you know me, my primary focus is really trying to figure out how do we bring financial freedom to everyone? And I believe that it is a birthright. I believe that it is something that that we all have access to. We just need to understand what it takes to make that happen. And too often we don't know. We haven't figured that out. And so I thought, let's jump in here and let's just talk about why is this important, this whole idea of financial awareness and raising your financial literacy, raising your financial intellect or IQ in doing that. And I get it. You might look at it and say, well, but Mel, I'm not really a numbers guy. I'm not a numbers person, and I get that. But here's the thing that we need to get real with is the fact that our financial future is on the other side of those numbers. Listen, when I first started out, even though I was getting schooling as a CPA, I didn't know what my numbers were. I didn't track it. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand investing. I didn't understand things like options and stop losses and investing and stock market and the economy and all these things. I didn't understand it. And that may be you. And that's okay. That's okay. Because the fact of the matter is that even if you don't understand it, doesn't mean that you can't understand it. And it just took me a little while to figure out what do I need to do to try and figure out how to make this make sense. And that's the thing that we're going on, is that the problem that I found is that most of our schools, our homes, our media, they don't talk about money. They don't talk about finances. They don't talk about building wealth and financial freedom and financial independence. Or if they do, they demonize it. And I think that it actually is a virtue to be able to be financially free, to be able to know that you can take care of the people you care about, to know that your loved ones, your spouse, your children, your grandchildren. I'm a recent granddad as of I'm 10 days. I'm a 10-day grandpa to a beautiful little granddaughter named Emily. And knowing that she's taken care of just gives me a lot of peace. It gives me a lot of joy. And imagine that for your life. This is why financial awareness becomes so important, is to be able to know that you can take care of yourself, but more importantly, think about the impact you can have, the way you can change and affect other people's lives, whether it's causes, whether it's charities. And so I don't want us to look at money as a bad thing. I want us to start to understand it. I want us to understand the tool it is, and how do we use the tool to make a difference? How do we use the tool to give us the life that we want, to be fully engaged, to be fully immersed, to know that we've lived it fully and vibrantly and it's the best that we possibly can. Now, doesn't mean that it's not it's gonna be easy. It's simple if we understand the principles. It may not be easy. And so this whole day is, tomorrow is Financial Awareness Day. So I want to give you a couple things that maybe you can do in your world today, in your world over the weekend, that can start to move you into a different position financially, to start to move you in a way that we can start to shift the things you need from a financial standpoint. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to your money, your wealth, your financial freedom, all of those things, I get it. If you don't have the answer, let's get the answer. Ask me the question. If I don't have the answer, and I don't have all the answers, we'll find out. And I'll bring the answer to you if I can. Look, I learned this the hard way. It's easy for me to, some people might think it's easy for me to be here. My buddy Colin Boyd just jumped in and have these conversations because, I did it all right. No, actually, I did a lot of it wrong. And I tell people that I've done enough right to be successful, which is a good thing. But here's the better thing. I've done enough wrong to be educational. And so I don't expect you, or anyone for that matter, including me, to understand all the financial money stuff. But let's have a conversation, because in that conversation is where we start to build wealth. In that conversation is how we start to grow. In that conversation is where things change. And figuring out that they turn around and they create this national day called National Financial Awareness Day. Let's use it. Let's put a sign, a stake in the ground, and let's say today, my financial awareness changes. Today, my financial work will shift and do the things that I want to do. Because here's the thing. I want you to understand some statistics. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that you're no longer, or you're not one of the statistics, or that we give you the path out. 58%, I was looking up statistics, 58% of Americans have less than $1,000 saved. Less than $1,000. Man, imagine what happens if you have a job issue, a health issue, a work issue, something happens and you have less than $1,000. We got to fix that. We got to find a way and a path. And I'm going to give you some things I want you to do and make that happen. Then the other is 8% of the U.S. believe they'll never recover from a recession. But if we look at the statistics, if we stay in the game, if we stay disciplined, and we keep doing the things that we want to do, then we can recover from recession. We don't allow the recession to control us and everything in that way. 20% of people do not save anything of their annual income. Here's the thing. If you're not putting money away, we're not building a nest egg. Most of the people that I talk to are entrepreneurs. One of the things to realize is that as an entrepreneur, you have a business. And too often we get into business thinking that business is going to give us freedom. And for those of you that have been in business for any length of time, business doesn't give you freedom. Many of us end up trapped in the business. See, business is actually not there to give us freedom. Business is there to give us cash flow. When we run the business correctly, it gives us cash flow, and it's through that cash flow, when we use the cash flow correctly, that it gives us freedom. And so the idea here is this. You have a business machine. That's the cash flow machine. You have a money machine. That's the freedom machine. We need to build both. And to make that happen. Let me look at one other statistics or so. 50% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. That we need to fix. And all these things, this is why financial awareness becomes important, is that all of it is fixable. All of it is fixable. Doesn't mean that it's easy. It means that we're going to have to change the way we do things. It means that we're going to have different conversations. We're going to have to do different things to make that happen. So I want to give you a couple things for you to think about and to actually do. that I think will change and start to shift some things. Depends on where you're at, and some of this you might have dialed in, some of it you may not. But let's give you some things that you can do starting today that start to shift things. And if you have comments or questions, pop them in, and I'll make sure. Here's something. One of the first things to do is that, remember I said most people don't have 58% don't have $1,000 saved. I want you to start to have what I call a peace of mind fund. Some people will call it an emergency fund. I call it a peace of mind fund. You have the peace of mind that if anything happens, you're good. And if you don't have that, now with the people that I work with in my Affluence Blueprint program or some of my high-level mentoring clients, we actually push to want to make sure that we have 9 to 18 months worth of expenses. Now that may be a lot for you. You're looking, oh my God, 9 to 18 months. Here's all I want. I just want 1 month. I just want you to start with 1 month. 1 month or $1,500, whatever it is. It's one of the first things that we need to do when we talk about the wealth priority ladder is to make that happen. And you might sit back and go, how do I get $1,500? How do I get 1 month's expenses? Here's a cool thing to do. Now, you may say, are you kidding me? I bet if I came into your house today, well, let me put it on me. If you came into my house today and you looked around, you would probably say, hey, Mel, are you using that camera over there? And there's a camera on a tripod over there. Don't tell my wife this because she'll maybe get rid of it. It's been sitting on the tripod, but I haven't had it hooked up for a long time. Have I used the camera? I haven't used the camera in 6 months. Does that mean I need the camera? Maybe, maybe not. Am I keeping the camera just in case? Probably. But if I needed to create a cushion, if I needed to create something, I could take that camera and sell it. Maybe make $400, $500, $600, $700. And I'm halfway up to my $1,500 or my 1 month's expenses. So here's what I'd invite you to do, is look around your house. See what might be there. See stuff that maybe you're not using, you don't need right now, and sell it. Get yourself to jumpstart your rainy day fund, your peace of mind fund, your cushion fund in a way that gives you some cushion. Tomorrow's Financial Awareness Day. Take 10 minutes, take 20 minutes, look around the house. Put that stuff on OfferUp, put that stuff on eBay, put it wherever. Craigslist, sell it. Put that money into a high yield cash account and set it aside. The burden off your shoulders when you sit back and say, I've got an extra $1,000, extra $1,500. I got 1 month's expenses. You'll be amazed at the psychological impact that has on you. The lifting of that. So that's the first thing is that I would start to make sure that we start to build that peace of mind cushion that by jump starting it by just looking around and getting rid of stuff that you're not using. If it's sitting in the garage, you haven't used it for a while, get rid of it. Make some money, put it in a high yield cash account. Number two, I want you to look at your credit cards. This is a perfect time to take your credit cards out and say, how much do I owe on my different credit cards? What do I owe? What's my monthly payment? What's the interest rate? Okay, what do I owe? What's my monthly payment? What's the interest rate? And get yourself on a payment plan to get those things paid off. If you need a payment plan, here's where I want you to go. I want you to go to melabraham.com/no debt. And you're going to be able to download my debt breakthrough calculator. You'll put all your stuff in, and it'll give you a payment structure, and you can figure out which is the fastest to pay it off, which is the cheapest to pay it off, the lowest interest. And decide, and then get on a payment plan and stick to it. Now, here's the other thing that I want you to do. If you have credit card debt that you're carrying, I want you to get on the phone with the credit card companies and renegotiate it. I want you to get them to reduce the rate that they're charging you to make that happen. See what they can do to help you out. Now, if you're going to do that, there's a couple things, and I'm going to do a whole episode on negotiating with your credit card companies. But if you're going to do that, there should be no additional fees, no penalties, no additional costs. Okay? You simply want them to adjust the rate. See what you can renegotiate, then adjust your payment plan and do that. So that's number two. So peace of mind fund and renegotiate and get your debt in place. Number 3, if you truly want to have financial freedom, you can't get to financial freedom without knowing where your starting point is. So I want you to literally create what's called a net worth statement. What's a net worth statement? It's figuring out all the stuff you own and the value of it, okay? Now, I don't mean like your shoes and your clothes and that kind of thing, but I mean assets, true assets, like investments, stocks, bonds, ETFs, index funds, real estate, those kinds of things, and all the stuff you own. Okay, so figure out what you own, the assets, the stuff you own, and figure out what the values are and list them out, and then figure out what you owe. You might owe stuff on credit cards. You might have student loan debt. You might have the mortgage on the home or rental properties. Put that in another column. So you have assets on one side, and you have the debts and the liabilities on the other side. The difference is your net worth. Now you know where you're at. What I want you to do is track that net worth on a monthly basis. Every month, I want you to know what your net worth is. Every month, I want you to look at it and see, is the net worth number going up? Because if it is, it's building your money machine. If it isn't, it's eroding your money machine. So I want my net worth to go up every month because I'm building that money machine that's going to give me the cash to give me the freedom to live off of. Okay? So that's number 3. Number 4. Okay, I'll give you a couple more here and then I'll close out. Number 4 is I want you to set up an automatic transfer to a high yield cash account. All right, let's take this step by step. First off, I want you to open up a high yield cash account. High yield cash account is going to get you a lot of interest, but it's going to get you more than a savings account. You can probably open it up at your bank, your credit. Mine is my credit union. There's plenty of them out there. You'll get something around 0.5%. In today's market, it used to be 1.5%, but it's about 0.5% now. There's 3 characteristics a high yield cash account has. One, it does have a higher yield than your normal savings account. But one, I want it to be completely liquid. I want it 100% liquid so you can get access to the money at a moment's notice. Okay. 2, there are no fees attached to it. They're not going to charge you bank fees or bank charges and erode that cash. Okay? So there's no fees to it. And 3, it's insured. So I'm going to put it at a financial institution that will insure it. So if the institution goes bad, I know that the money is safe. The whole idea of this high yield cash account is that it's an accumulation account for your assets, for your cash, so you can then decide where you want to invest it and how you want to invest it. So first things first, set up a high yield cash account. No fees, completely liquid, and insured. Those are the 3 characteristics. Once you have the high yield cash account set up, I want you to set up an automatic transfer to that account. I don't care if it's $10. You make money, you get a paycheck from either a company you work for or from your business, and I want you to set up an automatic transfer, out of sight, out of mind, from your regular checking account to the high yield cash account. It could be $10. My son has had an automatic transfer of $50 a month since he was in high school. Okay, he's now had his first child. It's still sitting there. It's just doing it. We haven't changed it. He hasn't changed it. But point being is that it's automatic, and over time that automatic transfer is just going to grow. That's one thing. But the more important thing is it's exercising your muscle. It's getting you into a habit of savings. It's getting you in a habit. And once we save it, then you and I can talk about where to invest it. And I'm not an investment advisor in the sense of selling investments, but we can talk about the smart way to do it, the safe way to do it, and the way to build that money machine effectively. And so that's the thing to look at. And so I wanted to look at, have the high yield cash account and set up an automatic transfer every month or every week, however you want to do it, and it doesn't matter. You might sit back and say, well, it's only $10. I don't care. Let's start with $10. When I first started savings, that's pretty much what I did, was $10. $10 a week. $40 a month. That turned into 80. That turned into 160. That turned into 320. That turned into 640. That turned into 1,200. And it just grew and grew and grew. But I got in the habit of it. When we get in the habit of it, then all of a sudden it becomes part of us. We shift and change our money identity. So those are a couple things that I would do. Let's build the piece in honor of Financial Awareness Day. Let's start building the Peace of Mind Fund. If you need to sell some stuff to jumpstart it, let's jumpstart it. Let's give you some space to think. Let's figure out our credit card debt. Let's renegotiate it. Let's use the debt breakthrough calculator. Go to melabraham.com/no debt. Get yourself on a payment schedule. Renegotiate the rates on them. Get yourself moving forward on the debt front. Figure out what your net worth is. Understand what you own and what you owe and what the difference is. And then set up a high yield cash account with automatic transfers. If you did one of those, you'd start to shift your financial future. But if you do 2 or 3 of them, and they're pretty easy, it's going to change things dramatically. And then we can have another conversation about what's next and how to do that next, okay? And then one last thing that I'd love for you to do. If we're truly about figuring out financial awareness, thank you, Evie, financial awareness and raising financial awareness, then maybe we should start educating ourselves. So the other thing I would do is get on Amazon, find a book on money management, investing, something that really interests you, wealth building, something that when you read it, you go, oh, this is going to be exciting. I'm going to do this. Order it. Audiobook, Kindle book, regular book. Order it. And start learning more. Remember, I didn't know any of this stuff. And it was through the errors of my ways and the lessons that came along the road that I got a chance to learn some of it. And I'm still learning every day. I'm still reading every day. I'm still going through it every day. Your financial journey is a lifelong journey. It's not something that's over. It's something you experience. And when we experience it right, we can build it differently. And so hopefully that makes sense to you. All right. So I wanted to jump in here in honor of Financial Awareness Day tomorrow, kind of give you some tips and some things to consider that can shift some things depending on where you're at. And here's the thing. If you have questions or things that are coming up around money, around wealth, around business, shoot them to me. DM me. Put them in the comments. Let me know. Let me help. Let me answer the questions. Let's bring them. I'll do them on a live. I'll do them on one of my the Affluent Entrepreneur Show episodes. I've got another Q&A episode that I'm collecting questions for. Send them my way. Let me answer them and let me help you out. Okay? You don't have to be alone on this journey. I didn't make it to where I'm at in solitude. I had a lot of people that helped me, a lot of people that nurtured me and mentored me, and I want to do the same. I want to pay it forward. So if there's anything I can do, reach out to me. Let's have the conversation. Let's get you on the right trajectory, and let's make it happen. Let's give you the freedom you deserve, that you're not sitting back and being a statistic like I talked about it earlier, but truly you're financially free. So you can live the life that you want to live, that you can be the person you want to be to the people you want to have. You can have the impact that you want to live that richer life, deeper impact, and to be in complete freedom. So blessings to you all. You have an incredible Friday and a great weekend, and we'll chat again soon. If anything comes up, shoot me a text, shoot me a DM, shoot me something, let me know, let me help. All right? Cheers to you all. Be well.